All right, this is your UFC 301 breakdown, and we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia at the end, and we may talk about some fitness, but yeah, this may be a painful episode for people who aren't fans of combat sports, but I think most of you are, so strap in and we'll give you some picks and break down this average to mid card. But like it's pretty exciting for Australians, but yeah, it's the palate cleanser. I mean, it's not even just UFC 300. Even UFC 300 was affected by the recent depth. I guess it was a series of interesting events that led to UFC blowing their annual load. Not their annual load, because obviously people's schedules will recover by the end of the year and they'll be able to put on some really good cards. Even by like mid-year, they'll be back to it. But yeah, anyway, I'm just fucking yapping. But I know they always love stacking O'Malley's cards because they believe in him as a star. And he's not quite there yet in terms of translating to a pure UFC audience. I think it's because he's very famous in his own right, but has a very young fan base that maybe doesn't buy pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So obviously there was that card. And why did they stack the Volk card? I guess they were just trying to make a big card with Volk.
Yeah, I just feel like...
Where was that? Did they owe someone a big card? Was it a significant location? It was just Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm suspicious it was almost like a run-in to 300.
I mean, to an extent as well, I think maybe they stacked the Volk card because, again, like Volk, his star power has grown heaps, but obviously he's not one of the biggest stars, especially relative to fighting ability. Pretty much all of it has come from like pure fucking talent. Obviously, everyone loves him as a bloke and stuff like that. And more recently, they're getting into his humor and that side of things. But maybe that's also why they stacked the Volk card, because they're like, well, there's so much talent on this card. Like, let's just really fucking beef it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the situation that we're in anyway. So so many fighters that have interesting storylines have all just recently fought. They couldn't get Pereira to turn around. That's one thing that would have done a huge thing for this card, is they managed to get Pereira with the quick turnarounds. I'm not sure what the actual barrier there was, because I believe Pereira was keen, didn't take any damage. I know Yuri was keen, and I would have thought old mate, what's his name?
Ankalaev?
Yeah, I thought Ankalaev would have been ready to go because I thought they were going back and forth onto it. So I'm not sure what the issue was there. Maybe the UFC just stepped in. They're like, nah, we're kind of sweet here. I would have thought the UFC would have appreciated it.
If Pereira turned around that quick, is that not like a fucking record? Like that's...
Well, is that like a month?
Probably for champs defending their belts on days. But on events, it could have happened before this, but I know Davison Figueiredo, he fought for the belt, he got it, or he might have been overweight and not actually got the belt, and then he fought on the very next card.
Right. I just feel like
that was one of those fights where he choked out Joey Benavidez. That fight where like Joey woke up and screamed.
What? I've never seen that.
He's funny. He probably Figueiredo beat the absolute piss out of him. Somehow Benavidez just wouldn't fully get knocked out, and the ref kept letting it go. So Figgy choked him out. And like as the camera's just like panning around the arena, just in not a B-roll shot, but just like a transitional shot, you just hear in the background, ah! So it's Benavidez waking up and being he's disoriented.
Damn, poor guy.
Okay, so we're just going to go through the main card. We're going to go bottom to top. No, we'll go top to bottom. Just reading out the main card before we break each fight down bottom to top individually. So we've got Alexander. I just call him Pantoja. I don't know how to say. Alejandro Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. We'll get it. Yeah, anyway, crazy matchup. Under that, Jesus Christ. Who the fuck is Jonathan Martinez? Only 19-4. Interesting record.
Never heard of him.
I don't think anyone would call me a casual MMA fan. Maybe some people would. I don't know who. Maybe I've seen him fight before. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to look into that. Jose Aldo coming back. I did not see this coming. Anthony Smith versus some other Brazilian who's undefeated. So this is obviously like a prospect who's recently been signed. You have to excuse me. Haven't seen any of his fights, but he's getting a red hot push too. Then we've got middleweight fight, Michel Pereira, who's been on a fucking tear. Crazy start to his career. not a bad start to his career either, but yeah, he's just turned into a fucking weapon, fully realized his potential. He's fighting Thor, Ihor or Thor? Thor Poteria. Not sure about that guy. Fucking hell, really reaching deep to this one. 20-5. Interesting enough, compelling enough record. This feels like a bit of a middleweight showcase for Pereira, though, because he's the local guy and he's on a win streak. So yeah, I don't know if I'm meant to know who this Thor man is. Could be he's probably like the highest ranked Uber driver in the UFC, respectfully. And then starting, and we'll break down this fight. We'll get straight into it. Starting the main card, we got Paul Craig down at middleweight. His second fight at middleweight. Pretty sure he lost his middleweight debut. Actually, maybe he won his middleweight debut, but he lost his last fight, which was the middleweight. He's fighting Caio Baralho, who I think is going to absolutely feed him on the feet. That's my pick for this one. I love Paul Craig. I'm always excited by a Paul Craig victory. And logically, you should never pick Paul Craig. Sometimes he just has this twinkle in his eye and a reputation for just pulling wins out of his ass that I like. It's just endearing. You got to love it. He paints his face blue at weigh-ins. He's called the Bear Jew. What's not to love? I don't love this middleweight transition.
Yeah, so Paul Craig lost by submission to Brendan Allen at middleweight.
Right. Did he have a win at middleweight before that?
Yeah. No, I think that was his debut. I think let me just double check.
I had this idea in my head that he looked really good in his middleweight debut and actually displayed some decent striking for the first time in his career. I could be completely hallucinating on that.
No, sorry, you are completely right. He beat Andre Muniz.
Yep.
He beat him. He knocked him out actually. And then then he lost by submission to Brendan Allen.
I was already skeptical about the middleweight transition when I heard about it because it's like late in the career, heading into a down a weight class into a division that arguably has more talent. I was like, but yeah, that middleweight debut, just all of a sudden seeing him with decent strike. It wasn't crazy, but like effective striking because he's never had anything that even resembles effective striking. Like people talk about Khabib being a specialist grappler. It's like, no, he's fucking Conor McGregor on the feet compared to Paul Craig. And that's the other thing that's romantic about Paul Craig. It's just you don't get many. He's a specialist, like almost on the level of like MMA 1. Like he can. I'm sure he can throw hands better than most guys at the pub.
Like a Ben Askren?
But not much better than that. And like while still recognizing his ability as a world-class fighter, like, yeah, he's not much better than like, yeah, he definitely can fight, like, but he definitely cannot strike at a professional. It cannot, like, no, like I will not accept an argument that he's a competent UFC level striker. Like that level of organization, even like maybe a premier non-UFC organization, like not even, anyway, whatever. I'm just fucking doing shit on his striking for too long.
But yeah, you got it right there with Vegas odds, $5, 10 to $1.17. So.
I mean, and it's like he's good money, like because like $5 is, it's not disrespectful because again, like he should lose the fight, but is he? Oh no, now he's. So after UFC 300, he's now the second man with a win over Jamal Hill. But yeah, Paul Craig got the first win over Jamal Hill. Like that's what I mean. Like again, Jamal Hill was just playing with fire. But, like still not necessarily having a reputation for like fight IQ or good tattoos. Well, I kind of like the tattoos, if I'm honest.
I feel anyway. Like it's almost what you got par for the course in the UFC. I feel like you have to have shit tattoos to get in.
What the? Just the Mickey Mouse hands doing the thumbs up is crazy.
Dude,
who's that? Who's
but you can get away with shit attached the better you are at fighting.
A big time. Yeah. Like, dude, some of them are hating. Like Gaethje just has the no fear eyes on him. That's fucked up.
No, it's the Bad Boy logo.
Is it not no fear?
It's signed to Bad Boy or some shit?
It's Bad Boy, I think.
Oh, I thought it was no fear.
It's so crazy. I'm pretty sure it's Bad Boy. Can we get
Either way,
I'm not going to do it. Someone fact check.
And it's not even like it's small. Like,
but regardless, huge. Like it's insane tattoo. But also kind of the perfect tattoo for an MMA fighter. He's Bad Boy.
Like,
it is a bad boy.
But he is. He's a bad boy. Like
Of course he is, but like I don't know that, and
That's why it's so. Yeah, it's crazy.
it's the spine tats that get me. Like the only people you ever see spine tats on are MMA fighters or porn stars. That is it.
It's Irish. I think it's like an Irish, like Gaelic thing. They seem to love
Topuria
like that. Conor McGregor tattoo down his spine. A bunch of even like Irish American fighters have similar things going on.
Right.
There's a bunch of other spine tats in the UFC. The wings is a good one. Tony Ferguson.
The wings is fucking hectic. And even but even the thing McGregor's got on his fucking chest, is it a monkey?
Gorilla, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, all the traditional stuff looks mad, I reckon. Especially when it's really vivid. Which McGregor's is like super bright. And, like, anyway, fucking let's try to stick to this shitty card. No, like I said, it's an alright card. We're just on the come down after UFC 300.
Michael Pereira versus Ihor Potieria.
Yeah, like so Michael Pereira, he was up and down at welterweight just because he's fighting like a lunatic. Like if you haven't seen him fight, he's like kind of go just like try to do a backflip. Even when he's like knocked a guy down, we'll try to do like a backflip over him so he can get into north-south for some reason, or like run up the cage, like lots of spinning shit. But he was always like a huge fucking welter. He just looked insanely athletic, like crazy physique, like really, really explosive. But yeah, he'd always gas out. Like one time he gassed out. He spent so much energy dancing in his walkout and like literally gassed it, like won the shit out of the first round, but then anyway. And just like even recently, like missed weight egregiously when he was given a huge step up at welterweight. So getting more recently in his career, all of a sudden he gets his shit together. He's really, so this is the thing about Michael Pereira as well. He's really young. I think he's like 26. He looks like a 40-year-old scuba diving instructor from that fucking Adam Sandler movie. But yeah, he's actually super young and he's coming into his prime.
Is it a long Jim Polly? Was that the one?
No, he's 30.
Yeah.
No, wait, is that Adam Sandler?
Okay, he's 30. Dude, he's been in the UFC for ages looking like that. And he's, like I said, looks way older than what he fucking is. Anyway, still arguably not fully in his prime. He just started fighting more conservatively, and I guess he just decided that he wanted to fully realize his potential. He's still got a little bit of spice to him, but like a good amount of spice. But yeah, he just has a fucking jab. Has a 1-2 now
off the cage. In a fight?
Yeah, absolutely. He's done all sorts of crazy shit. Anyway, he really got punished. He got forced to move up to middleweight essentially. But when he started fighting more conservatively, he went on a really good win streak. I think he's won like 6 in a row now. And I think this is his second fight at middleweight. Or am I going crazy here? Is this his middleweight debut? I'm pretty sure he's been at middleweight and had a really good performance already. But regardless, he's just streaking generally, whatever division it's been in. I know most of the streak for sure was at welterweight, but I believe he could potentially be 2 fights in at middleweight already. Oh, but the Wonderboy thing where he missed weight feels sort of recent. So maybe there's only been 1 fight since then. But he's probably like 1 more fight away from being in pretty serious contention. Like the discussion of like, okay, this guy's not many fights away from a title fight, which I never thought I would say about someone like Michael Pereira, which that's always exciting. So yeah, this is huge for him. But like I said, the only thing, I wonder if this is an opponent change. This just feels like a little bit of and I guess he has changed divisions. Like, I don't even know if this is getting ranked. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe anyway, he's starting to become a hot property for sure from my perspective. I know a lot of other MMA analysts, like all the podcasts I listen to, they're sort of talking about him as well as like, someone where people are like, okay, this guy's looking pretty serious now. Surprised, actually genuinely, like I said, he was matched up against Wonderboy. Welterweight. I know Wonderboy's not ranked in the top 5 anymore, but he's still top 10, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Do you rate the other guy? Potieria?
Yeah. I think Pereira should do him though.
Yeah. So $4.95 for
like
Potieria.
It's not a full-blown showcase, but sorry, what is it?
Yeah, $4.95 for Potieria and Pereira's $1.18.
Nice. Yeah.
Absolute backing from Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, who we got next? Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino.
Oh, I've been just praying for Anthony Smith to retire since that Glover fight.
Isn't he?
Not that he's incapable winning.
Does he present as well? Like for
yeah. That's what I mean. He's got other sources of income. Or what? Yeah.
That's a hell of a record right there. Fuck's sake.
That's a fucking That's a
he's got
hefty
some
record.
fights. He's
How
got
old
some
is he?
fights.
Fuck,
He's overperformed for his actual athletic ability. Shout out to Anthony Smith. He's overperformed in his career. Like, yeah, he's a lifelong martial artist. He's not a bad athlete, like compared to the population, but the level of guys that he's fighting. Yeah,
like he's not.
He's got a lot of fight miles. Oh, he's had his speed out of him.
Has he ever been
37 and 19?
Has he ever had a title?
Oh, so what if I told you he had an opportunity where he could have decided to have the belt off Jones? So when light heavyweight was going through its worst era in terms of title contenders, Anthony Smith went on a bit of a tear, beat some questionable old dudes. He was sort of known as just this guy who had gone on this streak of just wrecking really, really old middleweights who were still somehow highly ranked. Got a title shot against Jones. Jones was beating the piss out of him for like 3 rounds. Illegal kneed him in the head to the point where, like the same way Aljo got the strap, Anthony Smith could have done that to Jones. Anthony Smith is a man of honor, didn't want to win the belt that way, fought on, kept getting the piss beat out of him for another 2 rounds, and it was just another fucking, arguably the most boring title defense of Jones's career. Wow. So yeah, I guess I framed that in a really disrespectful way, but like I really respect what he's done. He's like I said, he's just starting to take the damage where when I see him take really bad losses, it starts to make me feel a bit bad.
How did Aljo manage to get the belt then? Or did he get knocked out?
Peter Yan illegal kneed him in the head, but Aljo genuinely then got the belt by like beating Peter Yan in the rematch.
So in the fight though, like did Aljo get knocked out when he got kneed in the head? Is that what happened?
No, he just got concussed. Anthony Smith got kneed like about as hard.
That's what I mean.
Like John Jones
did Aljo choose to take the belt then?
Yeah. As you should. Like, fucking get it. Because then you get pay-per-view points. They're going to get their rematch. Like, yeah, people bitch in your comment section, but it's like, don't throw an illegal knee. Like, it's... even me as a fan, I'm like, and that's why, as a fan, I'm like, yeah, awesome that Anthony Smith didn't do that because no one needed to see that rematch. But then even Aljo proved everyone right by then winning that belt. Be like, no, I would have won that fight. Like, it was looking a bit awkward. He won the first 2 rounds of that fight. It was just starting to look bad for Aljo.
He beat Gustafsson as well? Damn. Crazy.
Yeah. When Gustafsson was very up and down.
Yeah, hell of a record. And Vegas has the odds at $4.95 for Anthony Smith and Petrino $1.18.
I hope Anthony Smith gets submitted.
Oh,
just taken down, just double-legged from the start and submitted.
Yeah,
I don't want him to lose, but like I said, I don't necessarily want him to win more than the other guy, but yeah.
No, it's just you look at it and you're like, I know you can't do everything off this. It's like Petrino has 0 losses. Anthony Smith has 19.
And I don't think the gate's going to get kept.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Smith, like as much as I'm shitting on him, he's a very functional gatekeeper for the division. Like if you beat Anthony Smith, to me, that is a sign that you are of like a really good caliber. Like you can beat a veteran who's seen a lot of shit, who's beat a lot of super athletic guys who aren't actually like that good at the art of fighting. Anthony Smith is a perfect, like I said, he's starting to get the mileage on him where maybe he is struggling to function as that gatekeeper. But up until this point, he hasn't had a loss where it's like, you can't gatekeep anyway. For sure. We'll see.
Yeah, totally. Okay, sick. So wait, you're picking Vitor?
100%.
Cool.
I just hope it's not violent.
All right, then we have Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo.
I don't think they would bring back the King of Rio get absolutely pasted by a prospect. Like Jonathan
It's a
Martinez
great logic.
is good. He's good. And so for sure, there's every chance that Aldo could get wrecked, like in front of his home crowd. But I think it's like I said, definitely not a gimme. But as far as the UFC goes, like a relatively conservative matchup for Aldo. I think Aldo is back. Like it's not just a what. Sorry, Aldo. Aldo is back. It's not just a once-off because there's a card in Brazil. I think he wants to keep going. Aldo is younger than Volk, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's also younger than Max Holloway, which is crazy. Like he got the belt and went on his run so young.
Aldo's 37.
Oh, I've been talking shit. No way. Yeah, okay. I think I got confused because I think it's Robert Whittaker that's like younger than Starbender. Anyway, all right. So I was talking shit there. But again, only a year old. Wait, what is
37, I think.
So he's 2 years older than Volk.
Is Volk 35?
Yeah. Which, so a bantamweight, it's like, it was crazy that Aldo was able to go on the run that he did and get into title contention, fight for the belt at 135 that late in his career. I just think with the time that has passed, it'll be fucking absurd if Aldo is looking anything like his former self. He's been training, he's had boxing fights and stuff like that. He looked good, but I just think the sport of MMA is even harder on the body. I think you can do boxing for a little bit longer. The head can't, but the body can.
Yeah. Who did you best?
I think potential for sadness here, just because Aldo's a legend of the game. I don't, like I said, I don't think he's going to come back necessarily that bad, but it might just be this really mid Aldo performance where, I don't know. Well, I'm predicting an Aldo win. I'm pretty sure Aldo's going to win, but hopefully that happens. Gets a big send off. But like I said, if he wins, he's definitely not. I don't think he's going to retire.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like Aldo's coming back for a run that could lead to some sadness, but whatever. I hope he gets whatever he's looking for.
Is it too late for a run at the belt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait.
The bantamweight is the most hectic division. The champion currently is a bad matchup for him. There's a bunch of other people that are bad matchups for him in title contention. It's division where it's a young man's division.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I just realized Aldo went down, yeah?
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's what I mean. It was crazy. People were like, there's no fucking way this is going to go well.
Right.
So so that's what I mean. I reserve space in my brain for Aldo to impress me again because he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But it's just getting to the point where it's like, this would be insane.
Yeah. Do you think there's a world in which Aldo, like, I don't know, I don't want to talk weight class logistics or rest. Do you think there's a world in which he's waiting for a McGregor rematch? Like, that's why he's back?
Maybe.
Just purely,
but even that would be reaching on Aldo's part. Like, yeah, maybe.
It'd be good, but yeah.
Just in as much as, like, hypothetically, once the channel thing's out of the way, no one fucking knows what Nate Diaz is doing. It was a very, iconic moment for the sport when McGregor fought Aldo. I could just, I don't think it's crazy far-fetched, It would do big numbers.
What's really picked up steam recently, because the conversation around it died off for ages. The conversation about a 165 division has perked up again. It makes a lot of sense as well, because again, it's way less egregious if Conor McGregor beats Chandler to make it for a 165 belt his next fight. If not that fight, then like matching him up against Leon Edwards or something like that and just immediately putting him into contention at welterweight.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Yes,
but we don't really have any else.
To wrap it up,
Aldo's
$2.30 and Jonathan is $1.60.
Yeah. Who are you taking there, guys?
I was taking Aldo. I'll still take Aldo. Yeah, but it seems Vegas seems very skeptical. I don't think Jonathan Martinez is that hot of a prospect. Like I know he's a prospect, but
if you guys spoke about this and I kind of ignored it, then sorry, and I'll cut this. But like, has Aldo fought a bantamweight before?
Yeah. So I wonder how many fights he had. Oh, maybe he didn't have that many fights before he fought for the belt at bantamweight. He had at least one. It wasn't his bantamweight debut. Sorry, maybe his bantamweight debut was against Marlon Moraes, actually, if I remember correctly, and he lost a very narrow split decision. I actually think Aldo won that fight. I'm 90% sure that was his bantamweight debut. And then he actually got his bantamweight title fight. It could have been for an interim belt. I'm pretty sure it was for the full belt against Peter Yan.
Yeah, okay.
He
So
lost. He still looked really good at the start of the fight, but then he lost to Marab.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
looking
who
at
else
this
he fought.
here, in 2019, he fought Marlon Moraes and lost to him. And then in 2020...
Such a close fight.
Yeah, in 2020, he lost to Peter Yan and he beat Marlon Vera. Then 21...
That's what I mean. Like, Marlon Vera just fought for a belt like Aldo beat him.
Yeah. 21, he beat Pedro Munoz and Rob Font. Then 22, he lost to Marab, and now here we are.
Yeah.
So he's been up and down.
Maybe he will just come back for the one. Like, that hasn't been the conversation, but yeah, I just think it's the same why people think Cejudo will come back. It's like, do you want your last fight just you being just hugged by oh my God, his name just, I'm terrible with the names tonight. With Marab just hugging you for 3 fucking rounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm picking Aldo. That's a good underdog pick. I'm happy about that. Not completely surprised. That's some good money on Aldo. It's
no
still
doubt,
hard to beat Aldo. Like this Martinez guy is legit as fuck if he beats Aldo still.
Yeah, someone who's seen it all and is still very much like, super high level.
Yeah. I hope he's not cooked physically. I don't think, like I said, how long ago was the boxing fight? I'm trying to think. And it's like I said, it's been over a year. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Who did he fight in the boxing match? Quickly? Does anyone know?
Was it like Roy Jones Jr. or someone?
What
some
the
legend?
fuck?
No. I'm getting
Mike
confused with
Tyson.
Anderson Silva. Sorry, he fought. Fuck. Oh my God. But oh my God. Who the fuck is that guy? Jeremy Stevens. That's heavy.
Right.
I remembered his name.
Real hard shooter 145 right here.
Yeah, he fought him in a boxing match on like a Jake Paul undercard or something. It could have even been an Anderson Silva undercard.
All right, crazy.
Anderson Silva boxed Roy Jones Jr. Jesus Christ.
Did he really?
Memory tonight. Yeah, he won.
Oh,
it would be hard, fucking hell.
He wasn't the real hardest shooter at 145.
Pretty sure Aldo won against Jeremy Stevens as well, which makes a lot of sense to me. Aldo had way slicker boxing. Yeah.
Oh, God. Well,
prime
exactly.
Aldo.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Like prime Aldo felt very similar to Volk. It was honestly a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
But actually very similar. Like, how like they try to get one back. Like prime Aldo was very much like that. Not many guys managed to put one on him, but I remember thinking in the Chad Mendes fight about Volk, where Volk got dropped and then just seemed like so game after that to like get one back. I was like, oh, this is a real Aldo quality.
Yeah,
I'm sure Volk looked up to Aldo.
Oh, you'd have to. Fucking hell.
100%. Just like real technical striker, but also someone, I don't know, because I think this idea of technical striking that's point fighting, and even Volk copped a few of those accusations, was like somewhat warranted, but like it's because guys didn't want to engage in certain ways because like absolutely has the power to discipline. And that was the thing, like Aldo had speed, power, he was technical back in the day, like famous leg kicks. Like I said, like some of the best boxing in the UFC for the era, and like probably the most renowned leg kicks. Yeah, crazy. Insane takedown. Anyway, I don't want to just fucking jerk off to Aldo all night, but
no, that's
go watch some prime Aldo if you can.
Totally. All right, the main event. We have Alexandre, however you say. I'm going to say Alexandre. Pantoja versus Steve Erceg.
It's my first time hearing about Steve Erceg.
No, we spoke about him on the pod a little while ago.
Oh.
Yeah, he's had 3 fights. So I thought he was known for his grappling when he came into the UFC. His striking in his debut looked a bit average. I don't know how good the striking of the guy he was up against was. Like I said, I'm not that good at analyzing striking. He just looks sloppy. But then again, at flyweight, guys get fucking hit. Everyone's so fucking fast and pretty technical, typically. But in his last 2 fights, especially his last fight, striking's looked fucking phenomenal. What was it? Billy Quarantillo that he knocked out, or is it someone else? I'm getting confused. I feel like it's someone else because I feel like is Billy Quarantillo like a bantamweight? Who's the flyweight? I am getting the name wrong. Matt Schnell? Was it Matt Schnell?
He knocked out Matt Schnell.
Yeah, okay. So Matt Schnell has been a bit chin. As much as people are... I'm G'd up about it as well. I think that shot would have knocked out a lot of people. Matt Schnell has been knocked out by some relatively soft shit. Not saying that the punch... Like Pantoja gets hit as well. Pantoja has a great chin, though. It's interesting. I think for someone who doesn't have much UFC experience, Steve Erceg seems pretty mature. Again, that's just going off vibes though. But like we've seen him a decent amount of him fight now. But I don't think it's a lack of experience is necessarily an issue. And I think his grappling and scrambling is good enough to hang. So if he can keep it on the feet, his average. I can't tell because in my head it's a coin flip. But like that's for sure got some heavy Australian bias.
I mean,
but I'm willing to back it, the belief.
He's ranked 10th, which I think is enough to be like, okay, he's clearly, like of a certain caliber, but he's probably not really done enough for us to really know where he's
crazy that he's
Do you know what I mean?
It's like if it was a more focused on division, it'd be more wild than when Strickland got the shot against Adesanya.
Oh, 100%. But I think that's what I mean. I think the fact he's only had 3 fights, like, could work forward against him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Because also old mate doesn't have much to go off in terms of
100%.
You know what I mean? So I think, it could really go either way. But just looking at that division now, it does make a little bit more sense. Just that because Royval and Moreno just fought as well, so they're kind of both,
Do you know what Pantoja was doing before he won the belt?
What was he doing again?
He was doing fucking Uber Eats deliveries.
Sick.
How long ago?
So literally doing Uber Eats delivery, like I'm pretty sure in the camp, or maybe it was like to save money leading into camp.
Holy shit.
But definitely since his fight before he fought for the title, he did Uber Eats. Which is super nut. Like,
what a mad
it's fucking heavy, yeah. Yeah, the Pantoja's speech when he got the belt was hectic. Yeah. He's like, fucking proud now, Dad. And I was like, Jesus Christ. It was hectic. I'm like, because I feel like even if you had a real piece of shit dad, like they would be like, fuck, like, didn't know he's going to be a UFC champion. I wouldn't have been a shit dad. I feel like that is almost perfect get back.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's something. That is something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I like I said, Pantoja. I like Pantoja, but I Pantoja is known as a bit of a boogeyman of the flyweight division. Said boogeyman too many times on this fight breakdown already, or maybe I said it on the podcast episode. Anyway, we're moving on. Because Pantoja has 9 wins over the top 11 fighters in the division.
Wow. Okay.
Like he was really almost regarded as an uncrowned champion of the division. Because he had a really close fight with Moreno, and if he didn't get the belt, and then if he somehow never got into title contention, he definitely would have been outside of Joey Benavidez in the smaller divisions. One of the biggest, like especially in flyweight, one of the biggest, like, how'd he never get the belt? Which is all the guys that he's beat who have had the belt.
Yeah.
But he's just hittable. So just with what Erceg has been showing us lately, he's definitely. I think there's a lot of guys who could get a win over Pantoja. Like it's a very competitive division.
Yeah, I think this is actually a really cool fight, just purely based off. Like, I don't know, I think, like you said, the fact that he's got so many wins over so many dudes in that top 10, I think they've kind of just gone, all right, who have we not seen him against? And Erceg has kind of just popped up at the right moment, you know?
Can we change the nickname for Steve Erceg? Astro Boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like there must be a story there.
The story was that one of his early coaches or something was like, "Oh, you look like Astro Boy," and he was like, "All right, that'll be my fighter name." Or like maybe one of his mates' girlfriends or something. He said it on. I heard it on a podcast recently. He was talking about it.
I was hoping you were going to say, yeah, it's because he pumps so many cones that he's just a fucking space cadet and now he's Astro Boy. I thought that's what you were going to say. And I was like,
where does he fight out of?
Where
Where does he fight out of?
Perth.
Oh,
Okay. That's Steve the Egg Urseg.
Oh, I like that one.
It's good.
Because you can fucking crack him easily. Like,
yeah, the egg.
And the egg is paying $2.60, and Pantoja, the Uber driver, $1.50. Yeah, pretty.
This isn't a diss to Urseg. I feel like we could get him on the podcast.
Dude, I literally...
Let's get him. Let's get.
I might clip this, but like I was like so close to messaging you this week and being like,
let's get him on.
I tried to get Ursig on, and it was just too quick. Yeah. I was like, he's in fight camp. Like, it's just too much, I think.
I wonder how small Pantoja would have to be for me to beat him in a fight. I would beat the shit out of a 4'5" Pantoja.
Yeah, I could gut a stomp one too.
With kicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is running out of steam fast.
All right. Should we...
Do we give our picks? I'm picking the egg.
Oh.
What did you say is $2?
$2.60.
I don't think that's good value, so I actually wouldn't bet on the egg, despite the fact that I'm backing him. Like, I know I'm feeling contradicting myself here.
$1.50.
Yeah, man. Like, I'll probably cut this, but like, see if you did a fucking multi with like Aldo, Ursig, and like, I don't know, like that might kind of turn out all right.
But it was just a bit of a parlay. What else? Let me have a look. Yeah, what are we doing?
Garcia.
So you go the egg into Aldo.
Oh,
making this a real thing.
You're not making any money off Vitor versus Anthony, or do you just back the veteran move Hail Mary? No, it's not happening. So we skip that.
You get
fight.
$6 odds if you do Aldo and Ursig.
I feel like you're just a pussy though if you don't throw a spicy one in there, like a pork, like as in back one of the Hail Marys, either back. Yeah, you got to go 3. You got to either back a veteran move from Anthony Smith, or you got to back a Paul Craig spicy submission.
Yeah,
like the spicy veteran move is definitely a submission from Anthony Smith.
That bumps it up to $35.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Cooking, absolutely cooking. Anyway,
all right.
Do we?
Yeah, are we talking Garcia or are we fucking off?
Oh, sorry. No. Okay, wait. Yeah, back to the shit. Other interesting fight news: Ryan Garcia pulled the great, like a performance where, like, it was a Daniel Day-Lewis level performance in terms of his acting leading into the fight. Absolutely beat the piss out of Devin Haney. Because it wasn't even completely made up that his life was in disarray. It's that his life was in a bit of disarray, but rather than the bit being pretending life was all good, he went further into the bit, which is great. Like that level to be a bit crazy, but then realize it's like, oh, Biff, I'm just more crazy. Like just lean into it. Because I'm pretty sure, so where the dust has settled, I'm pretty sure he was actually drinking every day leading into the fight.
He actually was, yeah.
But there's just so many interviews where he was just speaking so clearly and just so sanely. Like whenever he wasn't talking about, global political issues and things of that nature, like a lot of conspiracy theory type talk and stuff like that. Like anytime he wasn't talking about that, like he sounded, anytime he was just talking about boxing and it wasn't super public, like in a one-on-one interview, because at the press conference he was crazy talking about everything. But yeah, there was some really sane shit coming out before. I saw a clip on Instagram today, and obviously he didn't know this was going to happen, but he literally called it in this interview. It may have even been, it wasn't a live with Bill Haney. It was a podcast interview, but yeah, he was like, I'm going to knock him down. He's like, Bill Haney's going to get 3 chances to stop this fight. And the first time I knock him down, I'm going to look over and be like, yeah, stop it now before I just fucking beat the shit out of him even more. And then I'm going to do another 2 times. He's like, like maybe the fight will get stopped, maybe it won't. But yeah, just insane. Like
Insanity.
called his shot so hard. It doesn't look like he's going to give him the rematch, which is even funnier.
That must annoy the fuck out of Haney.
Legendary. I'm not sure because Haney, I think, could have a broken jaw and is probably taken some time off, bit of an extended break. A lot of people sort of saying that he might need to like beef up a little bit more because I don't know. A lot of people sort of saying in hindsight, was Haney just a weight bully? I think Haney's good. I think people just disrespected Garcia too much after a loss to Tank. I still think he would have lost to Tank, but I think after this, to the weight, because the weight miss as well is so good, such a good part of the bit. But also, I think, I'm not sure what the rehydration clause was, and I think they were even fighting in an actual lower weight class. But yeah, I think just Ryan looks so much better in this fight.
Yeah, physically.
Despite apparent personal issues, like just at that size, so much healthier. That rehydration clause, I think, really, like I said, I still think he would have lost, but I think that took a lot of, like, I don't think that dehydrated Garcia does that to Haney. No fucking way. There's a bit of a different Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole thing. Was there not, I thought I read something that said that this was, or a bit of this anyway, was somewhat of a fuck you to Haney in the first place, because I think Haney like kind of was really relentless about this rehydration clause. And this was kind of Garcia's way of being like, oh, fuck you then. Like,
Yeah,
fuck the rest of it. I'll come in overweight and we'll just see what happens. Which is like kind of, like, it's kind of mental.
Gangster.
Because like Garcia doesn't have the belt now, does he? Like, I'm not wrong here.
No, he just threw a hand grenade into the division.
Yeah, totally. Which is fucking insane.
And that's what like the matchups almost the same. That from a Aussie and Tim Tszyu fans' perspective, it was really unfortunate what happened to Fundora. That has spiced up the division so much. So many awesome matchups are going to get made off the back of this, and I still back Tim Tszyu to get back to being champ of the division, undisputed as well. And like I said, Tim Tszyu still going to get big fights, but and yeah, same for and that's what I mean. All of these people like Tank, Haney, Ryan Garcia. I'm missing some names. Isak Cruz is sort of into it now. George Kambosos is sort of part, but like it is sort of spread across at least 2, maybe even 3 divisions, with Ryan being on the bigger side and Tank sort of being on the smaller side, but all of them sort of potentially moving between divisions depending on how things go.
Yeah, and
that's what's sort of interesting.
Oh, totally. But I think it's just interesting. It's like, what does Garcia do next? Like, does he go up? Does he go for the rematch? Because like, surely the rematch is going to do big fucking numbers as well. Like, does Garcia kind of have the right to go in there and be like 60-40, whatever, even though he's not the champ technically? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder if
he's the A side. As much as he's not the champ, he's pretty much the A side in any fight that he goes to negotiate. Oh, sorry. Most of the fights that people are thinking about outside of, because there's a lot of talk about a Tank rematch now, or a decent amount of talk about it.
Right.
I don't think that that's going to play out soon necessarily. I think he'd have to win one more before. And again, talking about the weight of them, I really doubt Ryan Garcia signs rehydrate. Yeah, so like, and even if hypothetically Ryan was willing to sign a rehydration clause and fight in the lower weight class against Tank, would Tank trust him to do that? So there probably need to be some sort of demonstration of that beforehand. I don't see Tank feeling the need to fight because, again, he's already got the win. And even now people are doubting the win a little bit after this performance at a heavyweight class. Like, I don't think Tank's obligated to go up because he actually is quite a bit smaller. And yeah, Devin's sort of being in between. Devin's pretty fucking big. But God, Garcia got him.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're talking about a different aspect of the fight before that. Who does Ryan fight next? Ryan has sort of talked about moving up potentially even further, and is talking about like trying to eventually fight Canelo. I don't think there was a fight before that he said.
Aren't they mates?
Around that weight class? I can't remember who else he said. They're. I mean, Canelo is a quote unquote real. To my knowledge, like the public perspective is like, yeah, like Canelo is a Mexican, like.
Even though
whereas Ryan Garcia I'm pretty sure he lived most of his life in the US. I don't think he speaks Spanish very well.
Right.
So the perspective is, but then again, like this fighting spirit, like Mexicans get around their fighters. Like anyone who identifies as a Mexican fighter who's good and like winning and showing heart, they're into it. I think this was a performance that, like, even though he didn't have to take too much performance, like in totality, I think people see he showed a lot of heart, and he's definitely won the Mexicans over more. And like, but yeah. So Canelo was definitely like a mentor figure, because I'm pretty sure Canelo was under Golden Boy like quite a while ago, but not too long ago. I'm pretty sure. So that was sort of why they had a bit of a relationship.
Okay.
And Brian still with Golden Boy, it's a bit of a temperamental relationship.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Damn.
What has Oscar been saying? I'm trying to think. Oscar's been saying a bunch. I don't think he's really named anyone. Oh, he probably has, but I missed it. But yeah, so far, it doesn't seem like Haney's going to get it. The Tank rematch, I don't think has a shot at playing out, just with just how I see things. Rolly. People. Fuck, the Rolly Romero fight.
Do you think Garcia is like? Because I just think so much of this kind of comes down to like how he's doing, and I just kind of feel like he might take a bit of time off.
Sorry, that's another guy who's relevant that he could fight. Shakur Stevenson. Yeah,
I just feel like he might take a bit of time off. I think he might take a bit of time off, but I also wouldn't surprise me if like he kind of comes back, because I think he might have like kind of fallen out of love with the whole thing. Wouldn't surprise me if he kind of comes back and just goes a bit like, fuck it, I'll have Jake Paul, or like, do you know what I mean? If he maybe goes a little more celebrity with it, if he's actually just
he
about
could
the money.
He'd take the absolute piss out of all
he wants.
Yeah,
like he could call it McGregor at this stage. Do you know what I mean?
Like, he called out Sugar Sean, I think, as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's been yapping about that a lot. I don't see that happening, just logistically.
Yeah.
I think it's all there, and I think he's showing he doesn't really give that much of a fuck about his career. Do you know what I mean? Like, as far as like legitimate boxing
I
goes.
agree with that sentiment. Yeah, I think anything he wants to do in boxing, he wants to get done in the next couple of years.
Yeah, totally. It'll be interesting though.
And we'll see you later, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. We've got a push-pull-run update coming for you on Monday, so sit tight. There'll be some non-combat sports nonsense coming at you.
It may be Thursday, but it's next week anyway.